Hey guys, welcome or welcome back. How's it going? So today I have a much long overdue video. Update on my trying to find the perfect reading tracker app video. So last we spoke, I said that I was giving up the Storygraph, that I wanted to quit Goodreads, and that I was going to try Fable, okay? And I checked out a few different videos, and I'll link it here if you're curious to see. So, here's where we are. I tried Fable, and frankly, it lasted for not even a month. I did not like the app at all. One thing that it had, which I didn't think was going to be a big deal for me at the time, is in-app purchases. And if it were only that, it wouldn't be a big deal. However, the problem is that it felt like too much of a commercialized product rather than a service that you use for yourself and to kind of update your friends or whatever, like see what your friends are reading. That's really the part that I didn't like about it, is that when I created my account for the first time and I log in and I go to the community tab or something, I think it's called community or something, and there were a bunch of posts from people that I never followed. Like I had subscribed or, created my account like 3 minutes ago. And so I'm like, there's no rhyme or reason to this, because how do I follow my friends, like my friends? I don't want recommendations from people I never met before. I don't even and it uses an AI to kind of recommend things to you. First of all, I'm so tired of AI already, or like what people try to call AI, and I can make a whole rant about that. The other thing that was, quite frankly, the last straw for me with this app was reviewing the books. As you can see on screen, the process of reviewing a book isn't as straightforward as just rate it, review it, move on to the next one. It was it was kind of ridiculous, as you can see, with all these emojis of like, how did this book make you feel? Is it like smiley face, sad face, blah blah blah, attach any keywords. It just frankly felt kind of ridiculous to me. To me, a reading app should be a complementary experience to the act of reading a book, and this felt like it was trying to be something else entirely, and it felt like, so you know how they say if something is free, you're the product, and that will always be true for any free product, not just this app, but you could really feel it here. It just felt like, okay, you're just trying to make me pick any keywords, like you're just trying to find some glittery way to make me pick the keywords that will feed your AI, that will feed me books I didn't ask for in the first place. Like that's frankly how it felt like to me, and I was not cool. Again, any app, any website, any whatever that is free, you're the product. If you've never heard that before, it's true. By your data, your whatever is how you pay when you're not paying with money. But anyway, is it for some people? I guess probably, because it's gaining in popularity and whatever, but it's not for me, okay? It's not what I was wanting to do. I really, to be honest, I want some old time Facebook thing where I could just say, I read this thing, what have you been reading recently, see what other people are reading, and have other people see what I'm reading, etc., and just have a log of books and that say read, not read, whatever. So here we are a month later, me saying I have to update people because I don't know what I'm going for anymore. So I start looking, and here are the wonders of being bilingual. I found an app called Babelio, which is French, and I don't know if there's an English version to this, but this one is exactly what I was looking for. What's really cool about this website is it's mainly about reviewing books and discovering books. It's very much set up like Goodreads, actually, I realize, but the it just feels more centered around the experience of being a reader and really discovering new books. And I'm sure there's some type of AI behind it, but it's not a popularity contest, which is such a breath of fresh air. It really is about finding the most diverse types of books. And you can see it when you're on the app, because when you're about to review a book, it's like, okay, be sure not to put spoilers, be sure to not do any typos or spelling mistakes or whatever. Like, it really is about you being able to review books and see what books you've read and connect with others. Like, it's not any of that fussy, like, want to find new stuff, blah, blah, blah. And I just really enjoy that. Like, it just feels really nice. I was this close to getting, I was that close to getting one of those, like, old-time library, like, card filers, and then just have one card per book I read and write my review or my thoughts on the book, and have one card per book and then file it like in old libraries. I still might do that. Like, I think it would be very cool to have that, but then I wouldn't have the aspect of, like, snooping on what other people are reading. I guess Goodreads is the perfect setup for what I'm looking for, but it's just outdated and it's owned by some billionaire with no clue what's going on right now. Or maybe he has a clue and he doesn't care. I don't know. But he's basically ruining the world. But I didn't say that. What did I say? Oh, yeah. So Babelio has some really cool tracking stats. It has something very cool, which actually, I don't know if I've ever said this. Maybe I said this a really long time ago. But one of the reasons I started my channel is because, so I was kind of following BookTube as a viewer before that, and I found this blog. I forget the name, but it's this BBC journalist who was doing this challenge called Reading Around the World, where she wanted to read one book from every country in the world, or where the author was from every country in the world. And I thought that was a really cool project, so I started that on my own time, and then I was like, I should start a channel for that reason and others. But that did prompt that, and eventually I fell out of it because I was putting too much pressure on the fact that every author from every book I was buying should be from a different country, etc., rather than the books I wanted to read. And so it, like, kind of took the fun out of reading. But I don't know, I still am really interested in this idea of reading as many books from, like, as many countries in the world, just because I think it's really cool to see how different authors have different influences, etc. Anyway, and so one of the really cool stats that Babelio has is a map of the world, and once you read a book from that country, it colors in the map. Is that not the coolest thing ever? I love that. And so anyway, so the other funny thing is, I've had Babelio, or my account, for since like 2.5 months, maybe-ish. And I think I've logged 2 books on there. Slow Readers Club, as I've said. And also this year specifically, I'm focusing on reading all of my longer books. And so I'm reading even less books in quantity per year. However, quality, not quantity, my friends. Don't nobody care about quantity anymore. Don't let anyone tell you that quantity is, like, that big of a deal in reading books world. I'm just saying that to say that I haven't really had a chance to log many books. However, I did have a chance to go through my bookshelves, and you can scan books, like the barcode with the app. And I was pleasantly surprised because even though it is a French app where most of the books on there are in French, the barcode did recognize most of my books. I mean, I probably have like 60-40 with mostly books in English on my shelves-ish. And it recognized, I had to, like, manually input maybe 5 or 6. I did have to add 1 book, like, to the catalog. But that was, I think it was some book that nobody ever heard of. I don't even know where I found it, to be honest, but it was not surprising to me. I wouldn't be surprised if Goodreads didn't even have it, to be honest, so it's not a big deal. But it is cool because it is easy to add books to the catalog. Like you put the ISBN and the book cover and short synopsis and whatever. So yes, that's what I've been using. I also really enjoy the newsletter because, so I don't know if Goodreads or any of the other ones have newsletters. If they did, I didn't subscribe. But it is very cool lists. And this is what I think I like about it, is that it doesn't feel like a popularity contest. Like it really is merit-based, and they have like more creative themes, not just like top fantasy or like top horror, like top 10 Stephen King or whatever. It's really like, I don't know, it's I relate to it more as a reader. Like it's just more engaging overall. Listen, if along the line Babelio does not work, frankly, I'm giving up. I'm just gonna go back to Goodreads and I'm gonna get those little cue cards for my personal recording. And I might get that regardless because I think it would look very cool to have those little shelves, like the card shelves, and then for Halloween you can put goop on it to make it look like Ghostbusters. Okay, anyway, neither here nor there. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was sort of helpful anyway. Maybe Babelio, maybe you're a French speaker, maybe you wanna, hey, if you wanna learn French, nothing better than using a French app. Like I said, I don't know if there's like an in-app translator or whatever, but I still think it works. And the books, so when the book is in French, the synopsis is in French and most of the comments about the book are in French. Likewise for English. I didn't check if there were other languages because I don't speak any other, but yeah, so I don't know, give it a try. Babelio, I'll link it in the comments. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!